On July 23rd, uncollected packages were piling up on the porch of a quiet Redding, California home. Inside lived 51-year-old Jennifer Leal. After a week of total silence, her mother asked a neighbor to use a hidden key and check the house. The neighbor, accompanied by a retired paramedic who lived nearby, stepped into the dark house. They found Jennifer deceased in her bedroom. Jennifer was a former ICU nurse. Earlier that year, she had battled a severe spinal infection, but her recovery had been steady. By June, she was returning to her daily tasks, and her mother felt confident enough to travel back to her own home. The last contact Jennifer had with anyone was a flurry of 19 text messages with her mother on July 16th. In them, Jennifer mentioned she had unexpectedly heard from an estranged ex-partner the night before. Shortly after sending that message, she stopped responding entirely. Normally, a sudden death following a series of unusual messages would lead to a comprehensive forensic review. In Jennifer's case, that process was cut short. The investigation into these events is being spearheaded by Shasta Unfiltered, a local publication working to examine official narratives in the North State. This graphic shows California Government Code Section 27491. The law is explicit. The coroner, quote, must inquire into sudden, unexpected, and unattended deaths. But the law has a built-in off-ramp. If the coroner determines the manner of death to be natural, they have the discretion to close the case immediately. That eliminates the need for an autopsy, a toxicology screen, or a detailed investigation. When Redding police officer Dustin Vega and the Shasta County Coroner's Office processed Jennifer's home, they took that off-ramp. Despite her age, the suddenness of her passing, and the recent contact with an estranged partner, the authorities ruled her death natural almost instantly. The law provides a mandate to investigate, but it also provides a loophole. When that loophole is used to end an inquiry prematurely, the very protections designed for the vulnerable cease to function. Following the 911 call, the Redding Fire Department arrived first, followed shortly by Officer Vega. The official coroner's office report of death paints a very tidy picture. It notes that the neighbor found the decedent unresponsive in a supine position, meaning flat on her back, and concludes there were no signs of forced entry or foul play. That tidy picture completely contradicts the eyewitness account. The neighbor told the mother the body was twisted, with one leg hanging off the bed. Attempting to verify these details is impossible, because Officer Vega never prepared a written police report. Even worse, not a single photograph was taken of the scene or the body to document its actual state before it was moved. Submitting an official summary without taking basic scene photos or filing standard police paperwork guarantees that the events of that day can never be independently verified. The discrepancies escalate when looking at the medical side of the case. The official verdict of death, signed by Chief Deputy Coroner Kyle Wallace, cites an investigation by Deputy Coroner Investigator Tanya Bishop. But Tanya Bishop was never at the scene. The coroner's scene investigation report leaves the boxes for scene contact number, body decomposition status, and body position entirely blank. Without a scene examination, the death was classified as natural and attributed to asthma, relying solely on a medical chart review by a pathologist. Jennifer had no known recent medical history of severe asthma. This animation highlights standard forensic procedures. In Jennifer's case, no autopsy was performed, no toxicology report was ordered, and no scene photos were taken. The exam type was listed as record review, location none. The official time of death was set at 16:41, the exact minute the fire department arrived. This ignores the social media timeline and body decomposition, which indicated she died roughly a week earlier. Filling out death certificates with phantom investigators and unsupported medical conclusions shows a system built to close files, not to uncover facts. The mishandling of Jennifer's case is part of a heavily documented pattern. 2 recent grand jury reports have specifically condemned the operations of the Shasta County Coroner's Office. These reports, titled Dead Men Tell No Tales and Another Look, criticized the department for a lack of formal policies, high staff turnover, and persistent workload challenges. To address this, the department spent $2 million in federal American Rescue Plan Act funds. That money went toward expanded morgue space and an in-floor scale, yet the vital frontline field investigations remain deeply flawed. Financial investments in facilities are meaningless if the personnel on the ground refuse to perform basic scene documentation. Behind the blank forms and missing police reports is a grieving mother. She repeatedly voiced concerns about the possibility of foul play, and those concerns were repeatedly ignored by the agencies sworn to listen. Because authorities rushed to label the death as natural on day one, any potential physical evidence that might have finally answered the grieving family's lingering questions is now entirely and permanently gone forever. Holding local authorities accountable requires independent oversight. If you believe in exposing systemic failures, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can read the full in-depth investigation at shastaunfiltered.com. If you or your family have experienced similar frustrations with the coroner's office, we encourage you to contact Shasta Unfiltered or the Shasta County Grand Jury. When official channels operate in the dark, public pressure and independent reporting remain the strongest tools we have to force the truth into the light.